you are the. Tell us some story of the longest living waterfront person in Sausalito, Roger Packard. Okay, Roger, you first got here in the 50s?
In 1960, and I cycled around from the bridge here and came down and looked out, and there was a Coast Guard vessel with a few boats bobbing around and a nice sunny weather compared with San Francisco, which was foggy.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the place for me.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
And I met all these old timers like Joe Pascanucci and all the boat builders. And then I met Gene Vada and Alan Watts and all the art, what can I say, movement. At that time, it was a whole art movement that really were together, and we just used to have a very small art, how'd you say, week.
Yeah.
And once in a while I would run it just for something to do, and now and again there was always a.
I mean, you used to run what is now the world famous Sausalito Art Festival.
Yes.
You actually used to run the early festivals.
Just for not very long.
Yeah, you just did it, just volunteer. I said,
yes,
heck, man.
It was a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
And we used to have where the Bank of America is now. Yeah. That was where we used to run it, right in the center of town.
Wow.
They just after that, the No Name Bar opened up. And
wow.
There was a.
You were here before the No Name Bar?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. And there was a place called the Porthole.
Yeah.
Where you could buy every surplus thing imaginable.
Yeah.
And then there was a small pharmacy where you could sit on the corner and watch everything go by in Sausalito and have a cup of coffee, and it was just like a small village.
How about like the Purity Market that was going then?
That was going then. It was a kind of a concert hut with hang on a minute, it wasn't going that. They had a theater, a amateur theater there.
Oh, before it was a market?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
They had an amateur theater there. And I remember my friend Jonathan Moore, who was very into, being a ham of an actor.
Yeah.
And there was all these women were there we used to chase,
Yeah.
Really fun days. I used to go sailing with Enrico Banducci. We had a fun time.
Tell us your Barbara Streisand story. Tell us how, what was she like back then?
She was, she could be, how can I say?
Arrogant, prudish?
Yeah, well, you could get on the wrong side of her any second, practically.
Yeah.
And she had a very short fuse.
Whoa.
And so she said to me, we were anchored out, and she said she had a boyfriend with her, and she said, could you row us ashore? I was part of the crew for this 60-foot boat called the Shearwater. And I said, yes, I can row you ashore. I said, hop in the dinghy. They both hopped in the dinghy. I rowed ashore, and it was on the rocks, and there was high tide, so they wouldn't have had to, go very far on the rocks. And the guy made it easily, and she said, I'm not climbing up that. No, definitely not. So yeah. I said, okay, well, I'm going to lop you off at the Glad Hand, then it was called.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to go there. And I said, well, I'm sorry. There's only the two places. Can't you row me downtown? Meaning, where the things were. And I said, well, I think your boyfriend would like you to go with him. And so she eventually went, but she could be cantankerous.
She could be, in other words, she maybe like Jewish princess? Little Jewish princess?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Yeah, she was a Jewish princess.
Yes.
And this was back what in the
that was about 61.
See, that's awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Hey, look, this is part one of the last surviving oldest salt in Sausalito, Roger Packard, and you can find his son Chance Packard online. It just Google Chance Packard. And you'll get rid of. No, you'll find. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.